Locker Room with Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app. We're getting ready for Eagles football. It's the Eagles pregame show right here on 97.3 ESPN, the Locker Room with Billy Schweim. And we got our Housemaster Home Inspection Twitter poll question of the day. It's real simple, Hunter. Will the Eagles beat the Ram? At Locker Room 973, you can vote. Right now, 69% say yes, and Hunter, 31% say no. So people are a little skeptical after last week's performance.
That's not what you like to hear, Billy.
All right, listen, we do this segment each and every week this year. It's called the Where Are We Now, in conjunction with Ken Dunnick and the Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine. Ken reaches out to his former players, and we get to find out what they're doing. So let's go to the Barb's Harley-Davidson Sports Hotline and welcome into the locker room former center of the Philadelphia Eagles, Dennis Franks. What's up, Dennis?
Hey, Billy, everything is up. I'll tell you, football's back, and here in North Carolina, we're excited because we have a crew of Philadelphia Eagle fans in the greater Charlotte area.
Oh, I like to hear that, Dennis. Does everybody get together?
Yeah, we do. You know, of course, we have a little bit concerned with social distancing and all, but there seems to be a lot more people coming out these days.
Well, Dennis, I got to tell you, you're always going to be famous in the view of Philadelphia fans with that picture of you and Vince Papale when he's run off the field, you know, all jubilant because he had a great game. The expression on your face is unbelievable.
You betcha. The last laugh. We are so proud of that win against Washington that year. It was our beginning and turnaround, and today that picture hangs in the Hall of Fame, which is fun. And you know what? My whole life has been about the last laugh, and it continues to go.
Well, you guys wrote a book. Is that correct?
That is correct. We started back in 2017, 2018. Vince and I got together and actually authored a book called The Last Laugh, Vision to Victory. And my goodness, I never realized how tough it was to put together so many thoughts from our careers and our lives.
I'll tell you what, Vince is a great friend of the show. We've had him on several times. He's a total inspiration. But before we get into the Eagles, I always like to look at the past, and I see that you obviously went to Michigan, but you played for Bo Schembechler. What was that like?
The best. He was an amazing leader and man, and boy, was he a student of the game. And if there was one thing I can say about him, he was a disciplinarian, and he expected actually execution on every play. But the bottom line was he cared about his players. And, you know, again, playing in the big house at Michigan with over 100,000 people every week and every home game, it's just been terrific. And what an experience that was that really sort of catapulted me onto the next level.
We're talking with Dennis Franks, former Eagles center. And, Dennis, our segment is Where Are They Now? And what are you doing? How's everything going? Explain to our listeners what have you been doing since you stopped your playing days.
Well, thanks, Billy. You know, it is always tough making the transition, and it was no different for me. It took me about 2 to 3 years before I really found my passion, and it really started with weight loss. I lost 60 pounds since I played the game, and today I'm my high school weight. But my position right now, I'm the executive vice president and part owner of MarketAmericaShop.com. And we are based out of Greensboro, North Carolina. We're a product broker and internet marketing company in the direct sales industry. And we do about $500 million a year with offices in 8 countries around the world, serving some 6 million customers and having over 150,000 contractors that represent our products. So life has been good. It's going into my 30th year.
Wow.
We started in the garage back in 1992. And we've experienced 92 consecutive quarters of growth through recessions, through everything. It just goes to show you when you find the right market, and understand that people will always buy something. And we've been blessed because we're in technology and we're in product brokering.
That's great. And Dennis, sports, athletics, and especially team sports like football actually prepares you for life after your playing days.
Oh, God, no question. And Dick Vermeil was a huge part of that. You know, when I think about having the experience with Bo Schembechler and Dick Vermeil, and even spending a half season with John Madden and you know, thinking about Monty Clark up in Detroit through my career, I've had wonderful leadership, but it was all behind hard work and discipline, game plans, and I took that into business, which was awesome.
We're talking with Dennis Franks, former Eagles center. Of course, he played for the Eagles from 76 to 78, and that was when, you know, prior to 76, the Eagles were really bad. I mean, there were some lean years, and then you guys come in under Dick Vermeil and slowly start to turn things around. That's always fun. You always build special relationships that you'll always have for the rest of your life.
Absolutely. And I still consider, even though I'm from Pittsburgh, I consider Philadelphia as my hometown. You know, coming there, I got out of Michigan in 75, and I made it to the last cut in 1975 and got picked up by the Oakland Raiders for a short time, and then came back to Philadelphia when Dick got the reins in 76. In 79, I ended up going to Detroit. But I will say this, those 4 years in Philadelphia and the transition and the entry of Ron Jaworski and playing with people like Harold Carmichael and Wilbur Montgomery, I mean, Wade Key and Jerry Sizemore, Stan Walters, it was amazing. Yeah. It was great. And then having the relationship with Vince and, you know, today we're 40-plus years friends and the father of his godfather of his children. Okay. I mean, how can you know, football was such a fraternity, you know, and it will always play a huge part in my life and the influences that I have on people around me.
Dennis, now talk about the offensive line, because you were a center. How much has the center's position evolved from when you played? I mean, and I know you have to make calls. How sophisticated does a center have to be?
I will say this. First, today it's a lot different than when I played. We only had 8 linemen, so actually I played center, backup guard, and tight end on short yardage. And, you know, the more you could do, the longer you could stay. Today it's more specialized. In fact, they even have a guy that just snaps for punts and field goals, whereas everybody had to do it. Guy Morris and myself, we both did those, and we spent a lot of time on the special teams too. But today, it is so different. Yes, we did some pulling. We did make line calls. But today, the whole concept of the shotgun, you know, where the quarterback rarely gets up and under. You know, constantly when we played, it was more, you know, direct snap from center to quarterback. The blocking schemes are different. They're not coming off the ball as much as using body positioning. When I played, we came off the ball. It was to own the line of scrimmage. Today, it's sort of like let the big guys go whatever direction, in the back will be a little deeper and look for the place to run. So it is different. It's very big. And
as an offensive lineman, Dennis, I guess you guys like to run block better than pass block.
Absolutely. Well, hey, listen, when I came out, Billy, I was the smallest center in the NFL, so I was totally at a disadvantage, you know, when you get the big guys in front of you. You know, the whole thing about pass protection is getting those arms out and then being long enough to keep them off your body. And it is such a technique. And you know, every position, you have to be a technician, you know, to maximize the skill set. I mean, the players today are just amazing. They were amazing back then, but they're even bigger and faster today.
Now, as a former center, what do you think of Jason Kelsey and his play? Because he's a pretty colorful character, but he does a great job. One thing I like about his game is I can't tell you how many times we've seen him get off blocks, go down and get someone else. You don't see that too much in the NFL today.
Oh, I know, and that's what makes him great. But the other part of it is his leadership. That flamboyant or that, you know, just joy of being out there. You can see that he loves and is passionate about what he does, and he brings his teammates up to another level. And, you know, that's the one thing that you all have to be is on the same page if you're going to win. And I'm really rooting for the Eagles to get through, you know, get that victory, and as soon as they can. Last week was a heartbreaker to see how that worked out.
Dennis, what's your prediction for today? I mean, going up against a high-powered Rams offense, going against Aaron Donald, you know, the second half they didn't play well. Can they turn it around this week against the Los Angeles Rams?
Well, I think you're going to see a complete game by the Philadelphia Eagles today, and I think you're going to see an improvement also in the second half by Wentz. And I just see that the whole message this week, without being there, it's all about finishing the game. The game's 60 minutes. You got to play for 60 minutes. And in this league, there is no lack of talent. They're all out there. And, we had a saying in Philadelphia when I played, and that's why we loved our fans, and that you're only as good as your last Sunday. And right now, the Eagles were not very good last week, so I would be shocked if the fans, while encouraging, but the first time they let up, they're going to hear it, so they're going to have to go. But
actually, there won't be any fans in the stands today.
I know, but you know what? The bottom line is, I've got to stick with the Eagles. I think in a close game, they're going to take it on 35-28.
Oh, that means everybody's going to get a Blitz's cheeseburger and a Coke for $3.50. We have a special going with Blitz's Markets in Ocean City. That is, every time the Eagles score 35 points or more, the day after the game, you get a cheeseburger and a Coke for $3.50.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
So you heard from Dennis Franks. All right, Dennis, listen, man. I really appreciate you taking time out today to visit with us and tell us a little bit about what you're doing and give us some insight. Thank you so much.
All right, Billy, have a great day. Talk to you soon.